Structure versus freedom. Which side are you on? Many creative agency owners think they do not need any structure in their life. They hate planning and they don't want anything on their calendar. They actually want everything to be easy and from flow. So, which side are you on? Structure versus freedom. I'm Yvonne from Amaze Yourself, and we help agency owners, coaches and consultants to scale their business. We help you get more clients by reviewing your current client acquisition systems, improving them and introducing new ones, as well as optimizing your operations. And we do so you can scale, you can relax more, and you can really start to build your business like you always envisioned. And today I'm going to talk about a topic that a lot of people really struggle with. And it's a topic that I love to talk about. It's basically, do you structure your days or do you simply go with the flow? And many of the creative agency owners I work with, they don't want to plan because they are very creative, they need room for their creativity, and they like to really go with the flow. At least that is what they tell themselves. But the truth is, if you don't structure your day at all, what will happen is basically that you will get lost in busy work. And what I mean by busy work is basically because you don't plan a thing, you basically are constantly putting out fires. You're constantly working on the next important thing and the next and the next. And before you know it, your day is gone and you feel like you haven't accomplished a thing. And I know from my experience in working with so many agency owners and business owners that this is a true thing. But I have to laugh because today it's only Tuesday and I've already had 3 clients talk to me about this specific phenomenon where they don't like to plan a lot, and then all of a sudden a lot of work doesn't get done, which then doesn't really feel good at all. So how do you go about it? Well, if you don't do anything about it, you get lost in the busy work, you don't have time for yourself, and this is actually the kicker, you have no time and no space for creativity or anything fun because you're constantly working. So, what I recommend, and I know this sounds so counterintuitive, but what I highly recommend that you do is that you do plan in certain elements in your day. So, we had a conversation with a client recently, earlier this week. It was all about how do I structure my day so I get the ultimate freedom. For them, it was very important to not work one day a week. So that was the Wednesday. So that was the first planning we did. Wednesdays are off, no work on Wednesdays. And then we planned, and listen to this. If you are really craving more freedom, you should structure your days in a way that they allow for you to have more freedom. Meaning, plan your days where the mornings are available to do the deep thinking, to do the work that needs to be done in your business. And plan the afternoons free, either to do something fun, either to relax, or to let the creativity hit, do some research, get lost in something, but don't plan any critical things for your business. All right. So, what we did with that one client where we scheduled all this for her, Wednesdays were off, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 9 till lunch were planned for business. Okay. All business things that needed to happen, in the most important things, were happening in those 3 mornings. Friday, even though still a working day, we didn't want to plan in. So it was more like a transition day. If the work wasn't done in those 3 days, Friday would be a work day. If the work was done in those 3 days, Friday would be either a creativity day or an off day or whatever day, right? That's already a world of freedom. So now with this structure in place, they had Monday, Tuesday, Thursday afternoon, and the whole Friday to really be creative with whatever they want to be creative with. Okay. So what we looked at was what are the most essential things that need to happen in your business. And for them, it was visibility, connectivity, and it was what they thought productivity or production. Now, visibility was everything to do with social media, but also newsletters, blogs, podcasts. So that's a heavy one, all right? Connectivity was all about connecting with new leads, reaching out to former leads, really basically a lot of what I would like to call sales and marketing leading towards sales. And then, interestingly enough, the third part of their tripod was to produce more workbooks, produce more training materials, produce more. Okay. Now, I can tell you that this is again something that I embark on with many creative business owners. And not just creative, actually, this happens to a lot of business owners. They feel they have something and then they want to sell it. Nothing much is happening with it. And then they go like, instead of pushing through and learning how to sell it better and how to approach different people, what they do is they're not selling it, they're making something new. And if that's not selling as much as they want, they will then again make something new. And in the end, they have a lot of services to offer. None of them has really taken off because they never see one thing through. So if your mind is like, oh, I need to produce a lot, I'm challenging you right here, right now. I don't think you need to produce. If anything, you need to standardize. And what I mean by standardize is basically scaling. And to scale, you need to make sure that all the things that are recurring activities, you either have standardized, meaning you have captured all the steps in standard operating procedures, or you've written down the processes, you've got templates in place for emails that you resend, you've got onboarding systems automated, you have whatever needs to be done automated, all the things that happen more than once and are happening on a recurring basis, those are the things you need to automate and you need to really standardize, okay? Now, is this a critical part of your business? Depending on where you are in your business, yes, this can be very important. I would say of all these things, visibility, connectivity, and production or standardization, there is one missing and there should be more emphasis on something else. But that's, of course, depending on where you are. The one that is missing, that is really critical, are your finances. You need to check your finances every day, and you need to be on top of those. So that's definitely something that needs to come in that time that you plan for yourself, all right? The other thing is with visibility, because I see this happening so much. Visibility becomes so important because it is something that is relatively easy, right? Posting on social media, recording a podcast, typing a blog, typing a newsletter, it is very easy. It's an easy way for people to do something and they don't see immediate results. And that's why they go like, oh yeah, but I know it's a long-term game, so let me just go on. So without you measuring the impact of your social media and your blogs and your newsletters, you should not spend too much time on it. And I highly encourage you to actually also start things like a social media library where you save all your posts. I highly encourage you to have a template on how to post a blog. I highly encourage you to have the process mapped out on how to share a newsletter. Because with that, it becomes very easy to hire an assistant to do that on your behalf. So you draft the post, or you hire a social media specialist, they draft the post. And that is really a quick win if you do it right. Because if you do it right and you make enough money to pay for the social media specialist or the VA posting on your behalf, or sending out the newsletter on your behalf, or posting the blog on your behalf, then you have more time. And what do you have more time for? For that connectivity. Okay, to reach more new clients, to get in front of people, to speak to them, to really engage with them, and to get them to want to work with you. So the emphasis should be on the connectivity. The emphasis should be on getting leads. The emphasis should be on sales conversations. That's where the emphasis should be. Second would be finances. And yes, visibility is always important, but that could rather be you telling someone else to do it on your behalf. And then lastly, standardization, definitely something that needs to be in the book. So if you do those 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on how many you want to, on a almost daily basis, right, things will start to shift. And what will happen is that you have more creativity coming to you in the afternoon, where you have blocked off time to really think about certain things. How do I want to go about, presenting this to my potential clients? How do I tweak this so that it comes better across? How do I get them to have more value out of this? Really, really important to have that time for that creativity. Or how do I, deliver something in a better way to my clients? But that creativity comes when you actually really take out time to plan for yourself. Because one more time, if you don't build in the structure, you get lost in busy work. You have no time for yourself, and the creativity time is really done, as is the time to have some fun. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye.